If you're going to be rude and not know what you're talking about, good luck.
Hiya, today we're going to be talking about the suppliers that we chose to use for our solar power system. When we talk about the suppliers that we've used, obviously these are our individual experiences. We can't vouch for everybody's experiences, and with most companies people have positive and not so good experiences, but this is what we found through our journey. We're going to talk through some of the ones that we use that we think are really good, and we're also going to mention one company that we didn't get a good feeling from and so that we avoided. Again, that's personal preference and personal experience and just what we found, and hopefully by sharing our experience it will just give you insight to be able to make your own informed decision and to choose who's best for you. So we live off-grid in a woodland with our daughter. Our power comes from our solar power setup that we installed last year. We collect and filter rainwater, and we're in the process of developing the woodland into a food forest, and our recent project is installing our polytunnel, which we're in today.
Yeah, the weather, just due to the weather, because it's warmer in here, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's trying to you can't get up into the solar shed anymore.
No, some of you may have seen our solar setup before and will know that it is up a ladder in the loft of a barn. I am now about 8 months pregnant and definitely cannot climb that ladder into that barn, so we haven't got our normal backdrop today, but still talking solar. Yeah.
Okay, so our system is basically made up of Victron components, Victron MPPTs, a Victron inverter and Pylontech batteries. And we went to numerous companies for this because we were in a pandemic. They didn't have all the supplies we needed. Really, it got to a point where it felt like everybody suddenly decided they wanted to get solar power and things were just flying off of the website. We'd been planning it for a long time. It was the sale of our house that was the thing we were waiting for. And then when we did sell our house, we then were struggling to get all the bits together. Yeah. Because people were selling out. So today we're just going to run through the different suppliers that we used, because we used a real mix and match, and we'll talk through how we got on with them beforehand, what the aftercare has been like, and generally how we felt about the products. Mm-hmm. So we'll start with the beginning of our journey, which was Meadotech. So Meadotech in the beginning, I was looking at them because they had kits. I was looking at getting a kit, and I'd asked lots of questions about their kits and they were very helpful. They've got online chat, which was brilliant, and there was never too much trouble. You know, I know that they want to make a sale, but I was quite a pain. You know, I would say, you know, I did ask a lot of questions, but I intended to buy from them. You know, I always intended to buy from them when the sale went through. And when the sale went through, we did buy from them, but we didn't go with the kit in the end. We didn't go with the batteries. They did Victron batteries, and it was due to the warranty really on Victron batteries. It was 2 years. So that's why we went with Pylontech, because you get a 10-year warranty with them. But not a reflection on Meadotech at all? No.
Just the product wasn't right for us.
And they didn't do the LG solar panels that we wanted, so they did Sharp ones, and I hadn't had great experiences with Sharp products in the past, so we just didn't go with those. But everything else, all the Victron stuff we got from them, and they were really good, a really good company to deal with, and the aftercare was actually really good. If you had a question or any problems, they were there online.
Quick response. And
you know, if they're selling to people that are DIYers, it's great to have that. So I would recommend them.
So after spending some time talking to Meadotech, we then discovered Midsummer.
You discovered them. You discovered them because we were looking for alternative batteries, wasn't it? Really, we were looking for, and then you discovered sort of Pylontech, and then we started reading about that. But
don't blame Pylontech on me. So one of the things that was amazing about Midsummer was that they have this online software where you can plan your system, and that's how we came across the LG panels that we ended up using.
Yeah.
And they have you can map out your roof, talking about what materials you've used to build the roof. So whether it's
a metal
or tile or whatever it is.
Slate, you know, they did all the fixings for it, so that the roof racking, and that was that was a difficult thing to find actually, the roof racking to do a system, and I think that made it so easy. But you know, if you don't find these people, you can spend a long time looking for things like that.
Yeah, so you put your details in and they basically come up with a shopping list for you.
Yeah.
And then they stock all of the stuff that they're suggesting and you can go ahead and buy it. Now, we didn't do it exactly like that. We mixed and matched a little bit. They tell you which inverter you need, which MPPTs, and we'd already made the decision that we were going to go with Victron, but we were able to use the information about the wiring for the solar panels and what connectors we'd need and things like that, and we bought all of that from Midsummer. Once we'd used that system and drawn together a list of what we wanted, we decided to get in touch with them because we were going to be spending quite a lot of money with them and see if they could do us a deal. The guy we spoke to, David, was amazing. He was really reassuring, knowledgeable, but asked questions that didn't make you feel like you didn't know what you were doing, which was nice. You had a good conversation with him, didn't you? That was really reassuring, and actually you came off the phone going, "Oh, good, these people are these are good. These are good people, and I know what I'm doing," which was a nice way to feel. So, unfortunately, just before we made the purchase with them, the solar panels sold out.
And everything had gone up as well. We'd had stuff in our basket, and that was one of the things that helped us get a bit of discount. Was we'd put stuff in our basket ready to buy, had panels in there and all sorts, and then they'd sold out, and their prices on some of the things had doubled, like the wire had gone up, and all that adds up so much. And we did get some discount. They
were really good about that, because we explained that we'd had to delay purchasing from them because we were waiting for our house sale to go through before we had the money. They were really good about honouring the prices that we'd looked at before, and gave us quite a nice discount on the Pylontech batteries as well, which was great. So then we had to look for an alternative supplier for the solar panels, and that brings us on to Green Power. We didn't have a massive amount to do with, it was just the purchase of the panels. However, we when you buy 20 LG 355 watt panels
without a phone call, just online order,
that's quite they were a bit surprised. So they actually gave us a call just to talk through our system and to talk through our needs and to check that we'd got everything we needed, really, which was great.
I mean, when these companies call, there is a little bit of I could have sold you that sort of stuff. I could have I do that, I do the Victron stuff. But everyone having everything at the same time. Even now, if you go into a shop and expect to get all the components for something at one place, I mean, I'm not having much luck with anything like that. It's everywhere, and you can wait a long time. So that's the reason it was broken up so much.
And he completely understood that, didn't he? And he was really supportive, and he said, if you need any more support, just let us know. Delivery was great, the panels are great, we've got no qualms with any of it, and it was all great, it was all good. So that went up really well. So those were the three main suppliers that we used, and then we moved on to needing bits and pieces from other places, and that's when we discovered Bimble Solar.
This was about fusing, so later on, after we'd actually built the system and used mega fuses, it wasn't good enough for the Pylontech batteries if there was a short. So, and someone pointing that out to us through our videos that this wasn't right.
When you're doing something for the first time, you might miss something, and fuses was the thing we went, oh, okay, we need to revisit this and learn a bit more about this.
And if you go online, you go on Victron community websites, things, you still see loads of people using mega fuses for that with Pylontech batteries, and not using these other type of fuses, these H00, 000 type fuses.
We'll put the link in the description below.
I might have that wrong, because I'm not keeping up on it all. We found this company called Bimble Solar, and they sell the Pylontech batteries, and they also sell alongside the proper isolation switches and fuses. So I ended up going with recommendations that were with them, and they're a brilliant company. Actually, they sent out, the first time they sent the stuff out, there was a chip out of one of the fuses, and there was one missing. And I emailed them and said, look, took a picture, there's a chip out this one, and they sent me a new one, and they sent replacement for the one that was missing out, and
yeah, next day delivery as well, wasn't it?
Yeah,
they
next
sent
day
them
delivery, and they put some sweets in the box as like a sweetener, really. You know, but the trouble, you know, it's how companies deal with a problem.
Companies make mistakes, and I think it's they shouldn't be measured so much by their mistakes, but by how they put them right. And they put it was faultless. The customer service afterwards, after we pointed out the error, was faultless. So I think that's really reassuring, because mistakes happen.
Yeah.
That leads us on to the one that we didn't use.
Yeah.
So that was solarwind.co.uk. So that's solar-wind.co.uk. Again, just to be clear, this is our personal experience, and there are probably people who've had positive experiences with this company, but we're just sharing what we've found. So, and
it's one person in the company as well. So basically, I was looking for the fuses for this for these Pylontechs, and this company seemed to do them. They did Pylontech batteries, so they said that the Pylontech batteries weren't compatible with that 10 kVA inverter. Either it being the Victron they were meaning, or the size of the inverter was implied as well, and that you'd need a special wiring harness and all this sort of stuff. And I'd already wired the thing in and it was working, so I mean, this was complete rubbish. And then it was a little rude, the sour note at the end of the email, sort of, well, why don't you just go back to your supplier? Why are you sort of bothering me? And I thought, well, you know, so you don't know what you're talking about, and you've got sour grapes because I'm, you know, going somewhere else. Well, this day and age, people are going to be looking for companies that are reliable and getting bits and pieces from different places, and if you're going to be rude and not know what you're talking about, good luck. So
I think the trouble was that in a market where the vast majority of companies that we've worked with are helpful, supportive, and really happy to answer any of your questions, however little the purchase is going to be, there's just not room for being dismissive and giving misinformation. No. So that was really unfortunate.
I mean, I have things in my business, you know, tree surgery. I go to places and people have had someone destroy their trees, but you can't just throw it away and go, well, no, tough luck, go back to them. The reason they're looking for someone else is because they haven't had a positive experience, or they can't get what they want from somewhere else, so they're looking for a service. You don't treat potential customers like that. That's bad.
Bad business.
That's bad business.
Yeah.
So that's our experiences with these solar companies, and you know, most people are out there to help. So we've had pretty good experiences with these solar companies, and you know, most people want to help you, but it's about people keeping up to date with the technology that's coming out, and you know, there's a lot of people that go into selling this sort of stuff that have been electricians, which is really good, very helpful, but unless they're keeping up to date with all the technology, you know, they might as well be a novice and looking it up for themselves, because you know, it's that far apart. Have it being able to do being an electrician and knowing this other technology, you know, you still need to do your research on it.
If you'd like to know more about our off-grid solar power setup, then we will put links to videos in the description below. We have a video of giving a full overview of the system, and also a video that covers the installation of the system. We have talked about cost, we've talked about the Pylontech batteries and the installation of those, and we've also talked a little bit about how we're getting on through winter, and what we're generating through these greyer months as well, because some people have been interested in how solar power works through the winter in the UK. If you'd like to follow us on our off-grid journey, then please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Bye.